What's going on, everybody? I figured I'd do a quick video of a new lift I got about a week ago. It's from Handy Industries. It's the SAM 1200 with the air bladder system. I ordered this probably about 2 months ago, and they were back ordered and in production, and put a lot of thought into getting one of these. Handy Industry makes pretty nice lifts, and I figured this was a pretty ingenious design and kind of low maintenance because of the air bladder system compared to air cylinders or hydraulics. So I was really looking forward to getting this. Like I said, it came in about a week ago, and I was super stoked. The only problem was the box was a little beat up and saw a little damage on the skid itself, and was kind of hoping for the best. Couldn't get it unwrapped until after the driver left, and when I did, I got a couple surprises. Let me raise it up and I'll point a couple of them out to you. As you can hear, it's fairly quiet. Ratchets it as it goes up. And it has a max height of about 39 inches, which is pretty good, man, considering. So what you do after you raise it up, you got to flip this lever back. Oh, I'm sorry, it was already in a lock position. So after you raise it up, you actually have to drop her back down again onto the lock. So pretty solid platform. Got a 99 Fat Boy on here, not a light bike, and she's pretty stable. Table width's 24 inches by 80 something, I believe. Has a rear dropout, good size. Vise does not come with it. As you can see, the foam padding that they supply with it doesn't like to stick. Now, I cleaned this with isopropyl alcohol. Maybe I should have roughed it up a little bit, but I didn't do that. It will not stay stuck. This seems to be a common complaint with these. It's a good quality rubber with like a neoprene backing. My problem was when I first pulled it in, you can see there I kind of destroyed it. I do like the hard rubber inner mount pads better than this that screw into the wheel vices. Other than that, it's a pretty decent vise. We're going to get back to that a little bit later. Table's a little dirty. Handy was kind enough to let me use it until the new lift came in because of the damage. And I can show you where it's damaged, and it may not seem like a big deal, but these aren't cheap, and I was kind of hoping for a nice, clean, fresh new car thing. So as you can see, maybe, I don't know, kind of hard to tell, but there's a dent that's right here. Didn't see that because this was shipped upside down. A fork must have went through the pallet and damaged that. The other thing was the back end of the table. As you can see right here, it has a little ripple in it. Well, this must have got hit on the end and smashed everything together. This is so tight it barely comes out of the dropout hole. And as you can see, there's about 1/8 of an inch gap up here. And that's what it's supposed to be like all the way back on both sides. And it's not. And it's tweaked a little bit that way. So that side's a little lower than that side. I think that might be tweaked up a little bit. Other than that, super nice table, quiet operation. Comes with a fairly long ramp for the size of it. Sorry, grabbing the tape measure. What are we at? About 31 inches for the ramp. And that's sitting next to a Bob 1500 ramp. As you can see, it's much longer. But we'll get to that in another time. And that's what I ended up ordering to replace this one. I figured go big or go home. So I was going to keep this lift. Handy was kind enough to offer me a couple of bucks back. I don't think it was quite enough, but they were actually pretty nice to work with. They make an excellent product. They can't control shipping. All they can do is stand behind it the best they can. And I was fortunate enough to be dealing with Joel, the owner of Handy, and he was super nice and pretty patient with my obsessing over the fact that this came in damaged. So I have to give him huge credit for taking the time to handle this personally. So let's take a look underneath. You can see the air bladder system, which is a really cool system. Some people might love it, some people might hate it, but you figure it takes up a lot smaller footprint as compared to, say, the Bob with a pretty large air cylinder. But that's a whole nother beast over here. And as I said, we'll get to that another time. But as far as heavy duty is concerned, I'd say this is an excellent lift for a small shop that is looking to get into a nice table and not spend a lot of money. It's got grease fittings everywhere, so it's completely serviceable. Sealed bearings where it matters. Very nice construction. Neoprene wheels, very nice. As you can see, made in the USA, which is something that we need to do more of. You can look underneath here and see the locking system, or the locking lever. And you can see up there where it actually cams in as the lift goes up. So to lower it, you raise the lift a little bit and then flip this lever down to unlock it, and then you can lower it down. One thing to make sure is when you do lower it, make sure you get all the air out of the lift. First time I lowered this and pulled the bike off of it, I didn't have all the air out of the lift, and the table lifted up about a 1.5 feet after I pulled the bike off, and it was not dangerous, but it definitely startled me a little bit as soon as the front wheel weight got off of there. So other than that, no big surprises. As I said, the lift is about 24 inches long, or 24 inches wide, and I'll get you an exact measurement on how long. 84 inches, as I said. So it's a good size lift. The Bob, however, is about 4 inches wider, which is, makes a difference, I think, as far as if you're not using side extensions. It definitely gives you a little bit more room for tools and whatever else. Yeah, like I said, it's a nice lift. And I figured I was returning this and I would, upgrade a little bit. The other thing was, and I was going to keep this lift, as I said before, they were going to give me a couple bucks off. I figured I could kind of deal with it. I got it on sale. It was spring sale. And I felt I got a pretty good price for the lift and the vise and the side tables. So the side tables were the last thing that I unwrapped. And when I unwrapped them to put them on, they were both bent. And I was kind of heartbroken at that point. I had sold my other lift, so I was down to just this lift. So I couldn't do what I needed to do to make a couple bucks. And, when I spoke to Joel over at Handy, he was kind enough to allow me to use this lift until that lift came in. And they were actually out of stock. They would have sent me another lift. And they didn't have any more Bobs that were available for shipment. And I was about a month and a half out, they said, for that, and they didn't have any Sams for shipment for like 2 months. It's been a very popular product for them. So let's raise this up a little bit and show you how quiet it is. Let's go all the way up. You can see how high it is. So try and creep up there. I think that's about it. Lower it back down on the lock. All right, so we're lowered there on the lock. So try and do this one-handed. Kind of sucks. See if I can, there you go. So what do we have for a table height? Just almost 39 inches. Or almost 39 and a half, about 39 and a quarter is what it's reading there. But it goes up a little higher. I don't know if there's one more ratchet available or not. I don't think so. But that's what it says in the book, 39 or 39 and a half. So let's see if we're on the last ratchet. Yep, we are. We're on the last ratchet. So that's it. That's the max height. As I said, real nice table, super nice powder coat finish. Nice powder coat finish on the rest of it. These are available in, I think 4 different colors. Gray is their factory stock color. Then they have black, red, and blue. And maybe orange. I'm not sure for you guys that have to have all things Harley colored. But very nice lift. Let's lower it down. And here we go, just creep it up a little bit and then unlock it. And then as I said, make sure you let all the air out so you don't have any surprises when you pull the bike off. And there we are. And then, as I said, here's the ramp. A little tough to do one-handed, but we'll get her done. There we go. She's locked in. So, as you can see, it's a pretty decent sized ramp. Has nice lengths to it. Helps you get it up on the lift a little easier with the extra length. So that's about it for this, man. I'm pretty happy with the lift overall. Kind of wish it came in one piece, but after getting the bob, I'm sure I'm going to be completely happy with that. I chose not to get the side extensions for that. I know it's a bit of a mess over there. Just got a lot going on right now. Other than that, the only other thing is this vise, and I'm just going to touch on that real quick. Let me raise the table back up again so we can see it a little easier. Not supposed to do that, but it stays in place. So let's get back over to the front. As you can see, the lift's pretty substantial. The only thing I didn't like about it, well, 2 things really. One's foam pads. They got to come up with a better system there. I know that's a common complaint. I think guys kind of trim them down. As you can see, it's peeling off over here. Guys trim them down so they're just on the clamp surface. The other thing, and I spoke to Joel at Handy about this. This is built out of square to the other side. So if this is plumb or 90 degrees to the table or close to it, this is not. Even when it's clamped up, it's a little off. And what he told me as far as the design was that they built this a little out of square, so when it does clamp up, it actually cants a little bit. and locks down square on the tire. Now, for the life of me, and as you can see, the tire is tight in the vise. I cannot get the bike to sit 9 degrees to the table, which is kind of an annoyance because when you're doing your 3 holes, you want everything kind of plumb. Now, it's not off so much where it's going to cause you a lot of problems as far as fluid levels are concerned, but it's more of a ADHD, obsessive compulsive thing as far as I'm concerned. You know, you want everything perfect, especially when you're spending a few bucks like this. But I decided to keep the device only because it is pretty well built, and if it really starts bothering me that this is out of plumb, I'm gonna just cut this and re-weld it on there square and see how that goes. But everything's got a huge warranty on it. I think it's, I have to look, but I think it's 20 years, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look in the paperwork. But as I said, I'm super happy with the lift. Really happy with how Handy Industries treated me. Their customer service is excellent. As I said, Joel, the owner, you know, super nice guy. Cares about his company, cares about his employees, cares about his customers. And you can't ask for a whole lot more than that. And I have to say that I was pretty frustrated as far as this purchase was concerned. And, you know, I wanted to give them every opportunity to make it right. And I kind of feel in the end, I'm still a happy customer. You know, a little frustrating to have to go through this, but, you know, I just wanted a nice lift, and it's getting tired of working with a cheaper, you know, lifts that are made overseas. And just wanted something nice, man. Didn't want to buy another one 5-10 years from now. You know, I just wanted to buy one that was going to last for whatever days I got left doing this. And we'll do another video on the Bob lift at a future date, as soon as I get this one out of here and the shop cleaned up a little bit. And we'll put that through the paces a little bit. Tell you what I like and what I don't like about it. But I will tell you right now, there's not a lot that I don't like about it. It is a substantial lift, and it is built pretty tough, as you can see. All right, well, that's it for now. This is my first video. Be kind in the comments. I hope this helps anybody that's in the market for a lift. And don't be scared to spend the money with these guys. Great product, great customer service. And yeah, it's about all you can ask for nowadays. It's kind of rare. So, and by the way, I ended up ordering this lift off of Redline Industries. They're also awesome to deal with. They actually had one in stock. They were probably the only one with one in stock in the country. So I snatched it up, and it came pretty quick, and no damage. I have to say it was packaged a little bit better than the Sam was, but that's something for Handy to figure out. They need to take a couple more precautions on how they pack the product up, but I think they do a good job overall. All right, this is Joe, Pickeroon Cycle Works. I'm out of here, man. Thanks for your time.